Council has approved the central government's sweeping tax reforms that will simplify the current 4-slab rate to a 2-slab structure comprising of only 5% and 18% tax slabs. The new structure will be implemented from September 22 and is expected to provide a boost for the common man as well as for businesses and industries. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman stated that, and I quote, "These reforms have a multi-sectoral and multi-thematic focus aimed at ensuring ease of living for all citizens and ease of doing business for all," unquote. Industry leaders have hailed the reforms as a game changer for the industry, the trade sector as well as for consumers, with the GST reforms expected to aid exporters amidst US President Donald Trump's tariff war. The industry has labeled the next generation reform a lifeline for businesses and exporters. India's food delivery and quick commerce giants such as Zomato and Swiggy face a fresh cost burden after Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman announced that delivery fees will now attract an 18% goods and services tax. The move marks a significant shift that could dent profitability margins across the sectors. According to Money Control, the duo is considering transferring the additional tax burden to consumers through higher delivery fees to delivery partners, which could affect their earnings. For instance, analysts estimate an additional cost of Rs 2 per order for Zomato and Rs 2.6 per order for Swiggy. The platforms are studying the notification to assess impacts on margins, pricing and working capital. All right. Joining me on the telecast is Professor M.K. Agarwal, Senior Economist. Professor M.K. Agarwal, thank you so much for joining us on the telecast. And now we've seen the GST 2.0 reforms announcement that was made by Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. How do you think this impact on the food delivery platform, specifically when we are talking about Zomato, as well as Swiggy, what kind of impact would it have on their profitability if they absorb this and transfer this to the consumer?
Yeah, Ria, in fact, they have no choice but to transfer it largely. And one thing is there, one good point for them is that the food that they have to deliver, they got cheaper. Most of the goods have been brought down from 12% to 5% bracket or 0% bracket that they have to supply. So this provides them enough cushion to partner with such type of food supplier. And they are since mediator to provide the food, link the food suppliers and the consumers. So I believe they are caught in a very tough situation, but definitely they will tide over it because the consumer demand for such products is very, very strong. And given the rate cut in most of the food sector, I believe that it will be easier for them to manage it. In fact, the food preparation, those who are undertaking and those who are supplying, they have to pass on some margin to them, or they have to shoulder some of the cost by such food suppliers to the consumer. That's my guess.
All right, Professor M.K. Agarwal, stay on with us. Following the rejig of GST that will come into effect from September 22, several popular cars are set to see a price cut as they will now be taxed at 18%, a significant drop from the existing 28%. Small cars, which have traditionally been the backbone of the Indian passenger vehicle market, had witnessed a slowdown and a shrinking market. However, with the new tax regime, a revival is expected. According to the Economic Times, popular cars that are expected to become cheaper include Maruti Suzuki Alto, K10, which is expected to see a price drop from Rs 4.23 lakhs to approximately Rs 3.81 lakhs. The price for Hyundai Grand i10 is likely to drop from Rs 5.91 lakh to Rs 5.51 lakh. And Tata Tiago is also expected to become almost Rs 50,000 cheaper at Rs 5.15 lakhs. In addition, Popular car models such as the Renault Kwid and Tata Nexon, Hyundai Creta, Mahindra Thar and Toyota Innova Krista are also expected to see price reduction following September 22, 2025. Professor M.K. Agarwal, in terms of the auto sector, do you see a surge in investment in these stocks as well? And is the reaction positive for the auto sector?
Auto sectors are three. That auto sector, whether it is for the four-wheelers, whether it is for two-wheeler, both feel thrilled and they are expecting a boom. Now the question is how much they are going to pass on this type of price cut that is offered through GST reduction by 10 percentage point, and that's a great lucrative situation for the consumers. If you ask the consumers, those who are not thinking of entering the buying market this season, they are also planning because this is a type of windfall for them. Even for two-wheelers, you will find that this is a very good, attractive price. It on an average, you will find that a reduction of around 8 to 10,000, depending upon the price range that the bikes are having, two-wheelers are having. So this is definitely a great moment for the consumers also. As the consumers, now they are in a catch-22 situation, whether what type of brand, those who are eyeing, for example, some lower variant, now they are planning to go for some higher variant that of tax reduction. Not only this, in the auto sector, you will find that the public buses, trucks, and ambulances, they have also got a reduction of 10 percentage point of GST. So I believe that auto sector, that is very much important for our economy in terms of employment, in terms of income generation, as well as for export area. So we find that this sector is going to boom and it may start from the day one itself. And we are expecting its advertisement very soon. And one thing more, that export market will also surge in this sector because reduction of 10% price is a huge cost reduction in terms of supply to other countries. So I find that it is a very win-win situation for the auto market.
M.K. Agarwal, in terms of these reforms, do you think this is enough to boost the economy and help in inflation?
Arya, I believe that inflation has already been under control. That has not been a point of worry, and that's why RBI has been reducing its repo rate. And moreover, in other developed market also, the policy rates were getting reduced. So I find that inflation has not been a source of worry at all with regard to giving a boost. But this is, I believe that this GST reduction is a major strategy for now to boost the economy, because this will generate demand and this will also generate a type of Swadeshi Karan that Prime Minister has been asking so many times and so frequently now. And you'll find that there are many sectors where Swadeshi Karan is definitely going to improve, or you can say MSME sector is going to feel the benefit of this GST reduction, not only in terms of tax reduction, but there are certainly other reforms in terms of governance of GST tax. So that's, I find that there is enough momentum to boost the economy. And my hunch is that it will lead to a growth of GDP by around 0.4 to 0.5 percentage point.
And Professor M.K. Agarwal, last question to you. Do you think this would boost consumers' consumption as well when we're talking about FMCG sector, insurance and hospitality sectors as well?
In fact, the entire strategy of this GST reform 2.0 has been to bring the marginalized consumers or low-income consumers in the center of demand drive. because ultimately, if you look at the impact on their disposable income, vary depending upon the level of income, it will lead to increase in their income to the extent of around 5 to 10 percentage point. So this will definitely go into the consumer item purchases. Therefore, demand boost is the major strategy in the wake of the global gloomy situation. And this is the point where Prime Minister Modi has always been emphasizing. If you are looking at the tax reduction, then in the budget 25-26, Nirmala Sitharaman has given enough in the income tax reduction by raising the exemption limit to 12 lakh rupees. So again, it is a low income group that receives a huge income tax reduction benefit. So if both are coupled together, it will be definitely giving a momentum to the demand generation in the economy, and fresh investments would be there, and definitely FDI would be attracted. Already, the share market has given this type of welcome treatment yesterday, but very soon you'll find even the foreign investments are increasing in the Indian economy.